Color guards post colors. Color guards dismissed. Please join Kalia Powell in national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce wheelchair basketball is played by people in wheelchairs and is considered one of the most major disabled sports practice. The International Wheelchair Basketball Federation, the IWBF, is the governing body for this sport and is recognized by the International Paralympic Committee. The IWBF has 82 national organizations for wheelchair basketball and OWBs actively participating in wheelchair basketball throughout the world, with this number increasing each year. It is estimated that more than 100,000 people play wheelchair basketball from recreation to club play and as elite national team members. Wheelchair basketball is played by boys and girls, men and women. I'm proud to introduce the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. They were created in August of 2003. They started with two young players. The city of Hammond, Indiana, asked if they would consider the Gene Shepherd Community Center as their team's practice site. They began calling parents of children they knew had lower extremity disabilities. Their program currently has 13 athletes on their roster. The Hammond Rolling Hoosiers is a parent-owned and operated program that provides physically challenged children the opportunity to participate in organized sport that their respective schools cannot provide. The program operates on grants and fundraisers for equipment and travel costs. Their season starts in September and ends in April. This is the Rolling Hoosiers. We will compete in 37 games, a record for their team. Today's game is in honor of Disability Awareness Month. I will first introduce the East Chicago Central participants. We're going to call them the Broken Wheels. Participating for the Broken Wheels, we have Anthony Williams, Rodney Carpenter, Ariane Clinton, Tyree Perham. We also have Ben Cruz, Coach Eric Kundich, Coach Gregory Day, Coach Castulo Perez, Chef Louis Segura. And the Broken Wheels will be coached by head coach Joe Fabian. And last but not least, Coach Stacy Adams. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. Number 1, Zoe Wallace. Number 3, Kyle Bartolioni. Number 5, Allison Nolan. Number 10, Jamie Ramos. Number 12, Andy Carpenter. Number 15, Jackie Morales. Number 21, Jody Morales. Number 23, Jemiah Tucker. Number 30, Jessica Hicks. Number 22, Joe Ella. Number 13, Charles Johnson. Number 33, Charles Johnson, I'm sorry. And East Chicago Central's own, number 13, Julian. Today, Julian will be receiving his merit badge for disability awareness, East Chicago Troop number 7, honoring Disability Awareness Month. The Hammond Rolling Hoosiers are coached by Julio Alvarado, Kevin Carpenter, and Brian Ney. Midwest Conference Commissioner and Executive Director of the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers, Kevin Ney. Our game today will be officiated by Christian Flores. The Hammond Rolling Hoosiers will be the home team on the scoreboard, and the East Chicago Broken Wheels will be the guests on the scoreboard.
While we tip it off, and that is out of the way of Eric Kundich. Quickly running down the participants for the East Chicago Broken Wheels. We have Anthony Williams. We have Coach Eric Kundich. We have Jonathan Hill, Kyrie Rancifer, Coach Stacy Adams, Vincent Hill. We have Coach Perez, Shantara Jones, Coach Day, Ariane Klein, Chef Segura, Ronnie Carpenter, and our head coach of the East Chicago Broken Wheels is Coach Joe Fabian. East Chicago, they are going left to right. Meanwhile, for the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers, they have on their roster includes number 1, Zori Boris, number 3, Kyle Bartolini, Allison Nolan, Damian Ramos, number 12, Andy Carpenter. And right now, East Chicago trying to get it ahead. That's out of the reach of Coach Day. Number 15, Jackie Morales. Number 21, Jody Morales. Number 23, Jemiah Tucker. Number 30, Jessica Hicks. Number 31, Joe Adams. Number 33, Charles Johnson. And East Chicago Central's very own, the star of the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers, is number 13, Julian Aravello. Now driving in the lane, layup. It's up and no good by number 22. Number 23, beg your pardon, Charles Johnson is put up and in by number 10, Damian Ramos. 2-0. We are playing 2 12-minute halves. 2-0 in favor of the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. Stacy Adams has it. He will find Anthony Williams. Anthony Williams trying to get it out of the backcourt. Will float it up to Eric Kundich. He dribbles the ball, and he'll float it up for Rodney Carpenter. Carpenter now looking to dribble. Finds Stacy Adams. That's out of his reach. out of bounds, and it's going to the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. The Hammond Rolling Hoosiers, they were created in August of 2003. They started with 2 young players. The city of Hammond asked if they would consider the Gene Shepherd Community Center as the team's practice site. Now looking to drive, number 22. It's up and in by Julian Aravallo. Julian Aravallo, what a start he is on the hardwood. 4-0, the Hammond Rolling Thunder, the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers are taking it over, and right now that is out. Looking to grab it, Charles Johnson. He'll come up with it. Nice steal by Johnson. Johnson dribbles the ball. Nice move. Darting. Oh, look at razzle-dazzle. Charles Johnson in the paint. Aravello off the glass and in. Oh, what a play by Charles Johnson. Dishing it. And Aravello with a little kiss off the glass. As the Rolling Hoosiers lead by a half dozen, 6-0 your score. The East Chicago Central Broken Wheels trail by 6. Eric Kundich looking to bring it across the timeline over to Stacey Adams. Adams to Dave. Dave foul extended right now, right side. Anthony Williams out of his control, and it's going to the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. Now the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers, they began calling parents of the children who they knew had lower extremity disabilities. Their program currently has 13 athletes on the roster. The Hammond Rolling Hoosiers is a parent-owned and operated program that provides physically challenged children the opportunity to participate in an organized sport that their respective schools cannot provide. Now look at Johnson to Aravello off the glass, and oh, he missed it. Puts it up and in yet again. Aravello with 6 points as East Chicago, they trail by 8. Eric Kundich out ahead, finds Greg Day. Day dribbles it. He is nice job defensively by Charles Johnson. Carpenter lost it over to Eric Kundich. Kundich dribbles it. He has the ball right side. Out ahead, off the hands of Greg Day, and it's going to the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. Now the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers, the program operates on grants and fundraisers for equipment and travel costs. Their season starts in September and ends in April. The Hammond Rolling Hoosiers will compete in 37 games, a record for their team. Now look at Charles Johnson. Nice bounce pass for number 22. 22 over to Aravello off the glass, and no good. Rebound controlled by Day. Day out ahead and losing it and looking and grabbing it. Wow, how easy they go out and grab it. Number 22 with the ball. A long trade is, oh, it was on the mark. Right there. And now Coach Joe Fabian going to make some substitutions.
Including a guest player, Mr. William Stenberg.
Mr. Stenberg, William Stenberg now going to go ahead and operate with the East Chicago Broken Wheels. Castulo Perez also, Chef Luis Segura as well, and a host of others. As they go ahead, they strap themselves in. They got to do something. They trail 8-0 with 8:46 to go. Our final basketball game of the year. Great to be with all of you. Sold out crowd here at the Barado Center for this matchup between the East Chicago Central Broken Wheels and the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. Chef Luis Segura has got to find a way to get it out. He'll find, and that's out ahead. Tyree Perham lost it, and it's recovered. Oh, nice job to keep it in bounds. Beautiful job. Coming out with it, number 22. Oh, look at through traffic, and oh, look at that skill. As he will go ahead underneath. The shot is up and no good. By number 1, Zoe Boris. Coming out with it is Kyrie Ratzifer. He lost it. Look at number 22. He's everywhere. And Mr. Stenberg, his wheels are broken. They literally are living up to their nicknames of being the Broken Wheels. And now they go ahead, they get rocking and rolling. Castillo Perez, also known as Kaz, looking for Stenberg, and that's out of bounds. A little bit too much mustard behind that one for Coach Castillo Perez. 8:05 to play in our first half. We're playing 2 12-minute halves. Great to be with all of you. Bounce pass over. Charles Johnson. Johnson lobs it ahead over for Damian Ramos. The jumper, it's up, it's good. Beautiful job, Damian Ramos. Beg your pardon, that is Jackie Morales with the bucket. 10-0. This is why the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers are one of the best teams in the entire state of Indiana. They look dynamic and impressive here this evening. 10-0 with 7:35 to go in the first half. Castillo Perez. Now the long jumper. It's up and oh, no good. Rebound controlled by Damian Ramos. Ramos out ahead. Charles Johnson. Fast break. They will go and recover at 22. Layup. It's up and good. Look at that. Joe Adams with the bucket. Joe Adams has been all over the place, for crying out loud. My goodness. 12-0 your score. 7 minutes to go. Joe Adams, he recovers it. Oh, he'll throw it over. Nice move, breakaway. Joe Adams, layup, it's up, and it's up, it's good. Joe Adams with the scoop. Joe Adams, he has 4. The lead is 14. 14-0. And my goodness, the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers are just taking it to the East Chicago Central Broken Wheels. Perez lost it. Now Charles Johnson. We have a 3-0. Aravello. Layup, it's up and good. Julian Aravello slicing and dicing in the paint. Looking great. 16-0 is your score. I have seen, and now they throw it up ahead. Tyree Perham, the 3. It's good! The kiss off the glass, Tyree Perham. He gets on the board. Nice shot for Tyree Perham, the wide receiver for the East Chicago football team. 16-3 is their score. Now look at Charles Johnson in the paint. Oh my goodness, he makes a move to his right. Now go to his left. Charles Johnson over the jump. It's up, no good. Underneath for Aravello. Aravello puts it off the glass, no good. Rebound to Perham. Perham has Julian Aravello. Stenberg now. And he traveled too many steps for Stenberg. And it's going to the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. I've seen some. And now it is Johnson has the ball. Foul line extended right. Charles Johnson. A foul committed by Chef Louis Segura. I've seen some butt whippings in my day. I've seen some blowouts. And the layup, it's up and no good by Damian Ramos. But this one's right up there. Now they lob it ahead for Tyree Perham. Nice move. The jumper, it's up and oh, was on the mark. He gets it, puts it off the glass, no good. Rebound ripped down by Charles Johnson. Now Johnson out ahead. He finds Joe Adams. Joe Adams, nice move. Joe Adams, the facilitator. Joe Adams, he goes down. And a foul, and he bumps right back up. Look at that athleticism by Joe Adams. This guy is a true athlete by every stretch of the imagination. Goodness gracious. Oh my! He popped right back up like he was nothing. Goes down, pops up. That is how good of an athlete. Take a look at 22, Joe Adams. That is what an athlete exemplifies. That is what athleticism, that's what flexibility, and that's what it takes. That's what happens when you're in the gym 5 days a week. And the free throw's buried. You know, if Bishop Noel would have taken some foul shots, some foul shooting lessons from Joe Adams, they would have won the Class 2A state title. 17-3 your score, 14-point lead, and now they throw it away again, the Broken Wheels. They look like a team that is broken and decimated from the defensive intensity of the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. We have 4:54 to play in our first half. Now Julian Aravello, look at that. He is the be-all, end-all. He'll lob it over for Zoe Boris. Boris lost it out of bounds. It'll go to the Broken Wheels. Well, the Broken Wheels, they have only converted on one bucket. And now Stenberg comes out. Checking in now. Ben Cruz will come into the ball game now. Castillo Perez lost it, stolen away by Johnson. Johnson, nice move to his right. Now he will lob it ahead for Zoe Boris. Boris lost it, coming and grabbing it, and down again on the floor, saving it to Aravello. And Aravello, the jumper is up, it's good. He has 10. Joe Adams and Julian Aravello have been a 1-2 scoring combination. 19-3, 16-point lead with 4 minutes to play in the first half. Lob pass over to Castillo Perez. Now the jumper, it's on the way, and it is good. Arion Clatton gets on the board. He has 2. The lead is 14, 19-5 with 3:50 to play in the first half. Top circle now, the long tray coming up and no good by Joe Adams. Rebound controlled by Segura. Now Perez has it. And Clanton lost it. Going and tracking it down. Look at that. If you can operate and move that good, like how Joe Adams is moving around, you are something special. Joe Adams pops up and moves around so gracefully. And the jumper, it's up and no good. Rebound coming down. Segura puts it up, no good. Rebound, it's up and in. Tyree Perham. The lead now is a dozen, 19-7. Johnson between the rings, lob pass over to Joe Adams. Adams layup, it's up, it's good. He makes it look so easy. Joe Adams with 7, also in attendance here today. The mayor of the city of East Chicago, Mayor Anthony Copeland, supporting these outstanding athletes here at this National Wheelchair Basketball Association contest between the East Chicago Central Broken Wheels and the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. And now, having the ball is Arion Clatton. Lob it ahead. Perham, the tray on the way from the right side. No good, it was on the mark. Segura puts it up and no good. Rebound, Ben Cruz puts it up off the glass. Rebound by Julian Aravello. Aravello now will find Joe Adams. Adams now in the paint. Joe Adams will lob it over to Johnson. The floater is up. It's good. Beautiful pass by Joe Adams to Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson has been doing everything with the exception of sell popcorn. He's been dishing the ball off, rebounding, stealing, and now scoring. 23-7, 16-point lead. Now out ahead, the jumper is up. No, it rimmed in and out. Rebound to Julian Aravello as Charles Johnson. Nice behind the back pass. Going and tracking it down now is Zoe Boris. Boris layup, it's up, no good. Rebound to Johnson. Beg your pardon, to Joe Adams. Adams over to Aravello. Layup, it's up, it's good.
Julian Aravello.
You know, when they told me as we did a pregame talk with the players beforehand, and I got the scouting report on the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers, they told me that Julian Aravello was a great player, that he was a good player. But he's not just a good player, he is a great player by every stretch of the imagination. And now look at another great player, Joe Adams. Adams on a breakaway. The scoop, it's up, it's good. He makes it look easy. Joe Adams. Adams with 9. The lead is 20. 1:20 to go first half. East Chicago. The Broken Wheels are trailing. Nice behind the back pass. Now in the paint, Segura. Segura, nice backdoor pass. It's up, it's good! Arion Clatton with the finish. Nice give and go. As Segura, Chef Louis, gets his moment of glory. That's a nice give and go between Segura and Clatton. And now Julian Aravello is going to pull up for the long tray. Off the glass, no good. Rebound, control Ben Cruz. As they'll put the ball in the hands of Tyree Perham. Bigger part, Arion Clatton to Perez. Perez looking, and we have a traveling violation. As Mayor Anthony Copeland laughing and enjoyed himself, as is the capacity crowd here. 34 seconds to go. Look at Joe Adams. Adams underneath Julian Aravello off the glass and in. My goodness. 14 for Julian Aravello. 19 seconds, 29-9, as that's out of the range of Segura. Julian Aravello with 14 points, also with 9. Joe Adams with 2 is Charles Johnson. What a team that the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers have with 12.9 seconds. Now Johnson finds Joe Adams. Joe Adams lost it, poked away by Segura. Joe Adams comes out with it. 4 seconds, 3. Joe Adams better hurry up. He better launch it. The jumper is up, and it's up, and the scoop is no good by Joe Adams. At the end of the first half, the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers have a commanding 20-point lead over the East Chicago Central Broken Wheels. Come on back. We'll have a halftime recap as well as second half action. Don't move a muscle. You are watching National Wheelchair Basketball Association game here and only on ECTV Sports. Our final game of the season between the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers and the East Chicago Central Broken Wheels.
For some reason, the Broken Wheels.
As we greatly appreciate the hospitality given to us by the athletic director Bill Kelly, also Vanessa Hernandez as well, and the public address announcer, the best in the business, that being Mr. David Lane. So we begin the second half, leading all scores with 14 from the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. East Chicago Central's very own Julian Aravello. Johnson, the long tray will lob it up there. Going and grabbing the ball is Joe Adams. Adams underneath for Aravello. Oh, knocked away by Stacy Adams. Come on, coach, he thinks it's football. It's not football. He clubbed him. Stacy Adams, my goodness. Save that intensity for your football team as we get ready at the end of August. As we now at the free throw line, charity stripe shooting a pair. Julian Aravello, 14 points this young man has. Clearly one of the bright stars and one of the most highly touted prospects in National Wheelchair Basketball Association here in the state of Indiana. You know, when you talk around the NWCBA, everyone talks about Julian Aravello from this area, from the state of Indiana, as being an MVP candidate, and he splits the pair. He has 15 overall. The rebound comes down to Joe Adams. Joe Adams lost it out of bounds, and it's going to the Rolling Hoosiers.
Out of bounds. Ball belongs to the Broken Wheels.
You know, Julian Aravello's been having a nice inside-outside game, and the facilitator is Joe Adams. And now Stacy Adams will launch it, finds Eric Kundich. Eric Kundich, they had a successful year with the East Chicago girls basketball team. Finds Anthony Williams. Anthony Williams bounce pass over. Underneath. Williams has it. Williams to Stacy Adams. Adams dribbling. The long tray straight away. Air ball. And the crowd boos. Capacity crowd letting Stacy Adams have it. Listen, Stacy, if you're going to shoot the ball, you better make sure you at least hit a little bit of rim. And now, Joe Adams slicing and dicing to the hole. Stolen away. And now tracking it down now. Going and grabbing it, Charles Johnson. Oh, Williams, the tray. Oh, it's an air ball. And it's going to the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. That defensive intensity, and I give credit to Charles Johnson to get back on the defensive end and to put a hand in the face of Anthony Williams to redirect that shot. Look at Charles Johnson dribbling the ball with such grace. Now he stops a little bit. Bounce pass now in the paint. Lob pass. Aravello, the jumper, no good. Rebound comes on to Eric Kundich. Now it's a race. Anthony Williams, but look at right there. As Anthony Williams, the long jumper, it's good. Oh! Beautiful J by Anthony Williams. 30-11, 9:47 to play. But now back on the other end, Joe Adams. Joe Adams in the paint. Joe Adams, the scoop underneath. It's up and no good. Knocked away Stacy Adams. That's a foul, but they didn't call it. Tracking it down is Joe Adams. Joe Adams, a little razzle-dazzle. Look at this. You thought a hot sauce in the N1 mixtape tour. You thought the NBA players had handles. Nobody has handles like Joe Adams. Adams lost it momentarily, and that was probably the first mistake that he's made all game long. Now Stacy Adams will take it out. Adams will find Rodney Carpenter. Rodney Carpenter, a fantastic videographer. Now he will put it down. He's being guarded by Charles Johnson. Look at that defensive intensity. Eric Kundich now, left side. Launches it up, and Williams gets it up, scoops it up, and no good. He lost it. Rebound, it's tipped around, and oh, down goes Williams. Coming down with it, Joe Adams. Look at Joe Adams, fast break. He's all by himself, scoops it up, and no good. Rebound, Charles Johnson underneath, Aravello. It's up, no good. Johnson, he'll put it up, no good. Another one, they're killing him on the offensive glass. Aravello puts it up and in. It is clear to say that the Chicago Broken Wheels are getting killed regarding the offensive glass. It's on the way. Joe Adams now in the paint. Charles Johnson between the rings. Johnson, Aravello right side. Aravello launches it off the glass and in again. 19 points for the sharpshooter. Number 13, Julian Aravello. 34-11, 23-point lead in favor of the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. Knocked away, what a steal by Johnson. Now Joe Adams, the scoop it's up, he missed it. One of the few misses and mistakes he's made all game long. But now going and tracking it down, Julian Aravello again. Aravello keeps the ball in play, lost it momentarily, but getting it is Charles Johnson. Look at Charles Johnson, puts the ball on the floor. Nice move to his left, now to his right. Charles Johnson protecting the ball. Over to Aravello, stops, pops, and misses it. Rebound put up and in by number 10, Damian Ramos. Believe that is Damian Ramos with the jumper. It's up and in. 36-11, 25-point lead in favor of the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. Anthony Williams has caught. He better hurry up and get rid of it. He finds Eric Kundich. Eric Kundich now floats it up, stolen away by Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson intercepted the pass. Now a long outlet pass for Julian Aravello. He has it right side. Julian Aravello stops, one hand, and good. 21 for Julian Aravello. Eric Kundich trying to track it down, but right there to steal it away from him, Andy Carpenter. Andy Carpenter, nice bounce pass, going and tracking it down, Joe Adams. Joe Adams now tries baseline, the reverse is missed, but Joe Adams still recovers it. Left side, Joe Adams. Joe Adams stopping, popping, and it is short. Rebound, trying to go out of bounds. Julian Aravello could not save it. What a game we have. And a timeout for the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. The Chicago Central broken wheels. They have a broken mentality in terms of the way that they're playing. They trail by 27. It's all Rolling Hoosiers. Julian Aravello with 21 points. He's outscoring the East Chicago Central broken wheels by himself here in only on ECTV Sports. As we go ahead and continue quickly looking, Julian Aravello, he has 21. Also chipping in with 9 is Joe Adams with 2. Charles Johnson with 4. Damian Ramos with 2. Jackie Morales. And now the players from the Chicago Central Broken Wheels, they are going ahead and they are grabbing some Gatorade. And now Mr. Stenberg is in, new lineup in. Chef Luis Segura, Castillo Perez, the Kaz man, as well as Mr. Stenberg. They are all in the ball game. New players, Julian Aravello, the Catalyst, along with Charles Johnson and Joe Adams. This is why the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers are the best team in the state of Indiana. You know, we have had in this area, Theo Bowman won it last year in high school basketball. East Chicago won it in 2007, and Luis Segura lost it, stealing it away, Julian Aravello. Julian Aravello, the star of the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. The jumper is on the way. It's up and no good. Rebound, Charles Johnson. What an animal on the glass. Put it up. Joe Adams lost it. Stenberg going for it hard and put it up and no, almost. As Joe Adams will go to the line to shoot too. And the foul is on William Stenberg. Getting a little too active. But we've had Theo Bowman, who won last year in the state of Indiana for Class 1A. East Chicago Central won in 2007. And it will be no surprise when the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers bring a state championship or national championship, a National Wheelchair Basketball Association championship right here to Lake County, Indiana, without a doubt. The Hammond Rolling Hoosiers are for real. As Joe Adams looking to split the pair. Chef Luis Segura trying to get the fans involved. Free throws up and over the front iron. Rebound to Stenberg. And we have a lane violation. As Bill Stenberg with the lane violation. We'd like to thank all of you for joining us here. If you're just joining us, you have missed an outstanding performance by Julian Aravello and Joe Adams along with Charles Johnson as he misses the free throw, but going and grabbing and chasing down his own miss is Joe Adams. Joe Adams now in the paint, scoops it up high off the glass, no good. Rebound, outlet pass, and that is Charles Johnson looking to track it down. It's out of bounds and it'll stay, and it'll go to the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. 4:47 to play, 38-11. 27-point lead. It's been all Rolling Hoosiers. And Charles Johnson now between the rings. Charles Johnson, right side. One of the youngest players on the team. That being number 23, Jemiah Tucker. And now Tyree Prem on the fast break going and cornering him, though, is Johnson. It's no good. Rebound comes down to Joe Adams. Joe Adams now on the fast break. Joe Adams, 5-on-1. Joe, nice screen. Joe Adams playing, but it's up and no good. He missed it. He gets his own miss. He puts it high off the glass and no good. Rebound controlled by Tyree Perham. And right there going to jump ball. Possession arrow points to the Broken Wheels. Right there, nice job by Joe Adams to tie up Arion Clanton, and that's out of bounds. Now the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers still pouring on. They play like the game is on the line. Even though they have a 27-point lead, they're playing like the championship is on the line. And you better believe that they are ready for a postseason run. The long Trey Johnson. It is on the mark and over the backboard. But Mr. Stenberg now comes and gets it. He's dribbling. He's trying to dribble it. He may lose it as he's trying to find Castillo Perez. Out of bounds, stays with the Rolling Hoosiers. The Rolling Hoosiers are using this game as a way to prepare for the playoffs in the National Wheelchair Basketball Association. It is one of the most highly anticipated, and Aravello lost it. The NWCBA is one of the most highly anticipated playoff tournaments in the entire country. You look at the NBA playoffs, the Major League Baseball playoffs, the NFL playoffs, put the NWCBA as another one that is highly anticipated. And now going and getting it. And the nice pass and layup, it's up and no good. Putting it up and in. Joe Adams, he cracks double digits with 11. If I am a betting man in Las Vegas, I would have to say the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers have got to be the favorite in the NWCBA playoffs as they begin in the month of April. Left side now top circle, and the Tyree Perham misses it. Rebound comes down to Joe Adams. This has got to be his 13th rebound. Now he comes in the paint. Bounce past Aravello, no good. Stolen away. Now Segura is wide open by himself. He'll go down and track it down. Chef Louis Segura. The jumper is no good. Segura almost had it. He has an assist to his credit. Now Joe Adams. Look at Joe Adams. Look at him in the slicing and dicing to the hole, and it's good. Oh my, Joe Adams. What ability. To his right, to his left, and the finish. He has 13. The lead is 31. As Cruz has the ball. Floats it up to Arion Clanton, left corner. Tyree Perham, left side, three-pointer, and he buried it! The tray from downtown. The second tray for Tyree Perham as we're coming up on a minute 14 ago in the ballgame. 28-point lead in favor of the Rolling Hoosiers. As I mentioned, if you get an opportunity, go to Google and support the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. This is a fantastic basketball team and one that is affordable for the entire family. Under 50 seconds, the tray for Aravello. Buried! 1, 2, 3! Oh my! Julian Aravello with an exclamation mark as he's dancing his way to the other side. The lead is 31. He has a game-high 24. Julian Aravello with one of the most impressive performances in the month of March. We've seen great performances in this building. Etuan Moore, Angel Garcia, Kawan Short, Terrell Connor. Also, Jarek Ware, add Julian Aravello's name to list of great players that have put on sensational performances in this building. Zoe Boris now. Now Louis Segura, Chef Segura coming out with it. Tyree Perham lost it. Joe Adams now on the fast break. We have 4 seconds. 3 as Joe Adams will allow the clock. 3 is up and no good. Our final score. The Hammond Rolling Hoosiers dominate the East Chicago Central Broken Wheels by 31. Your final score, 45-14.
At this time, I'd like to announce the game's MVP. The MVP of today's ball game, number 13, Julian Aravello.
As we see here, the players showing a sign of respect with one another. This game was all in honor of Disability Awareness Month. The National Wheelchair Basketball Association does a great job of putting on outstanding leagues and a national championship for the top and the upper echelon National Wheelchair Basketball Association players around the world. It's great that we are able to see some display of NWCBA action here today. Right now, we're going to take a quick break and come back with a recap here and only on ECTV Sports. Your final score: the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers 45, the Chicago Central Broken Wheels 14. Well, that'll do it for our coverage of this special basketball game. The National Wheelchair Basketball Association, they had a game between the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers and the East Chicago Central Broken Wheels. What a game it was. Very exciting. Basically, the East Chicago Central Broken Wheels, they came out and they fell to a 10-0 deficit, and that'll be all she wrote. The Hammond Rolling Hoosiers looked outstanding and proved why they are one of the best teams in the NWCBA. I am looking forward to the playoffs as they get ready to win the championship and the NWCBA. Our player of the game undoubtedly has to be Julian Aravello for the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers, East Chicago Central's very own. What a game. He did an outstanding job. He had 24 points to lead all scores. Also hit a tray at the end to put an exclamation mark on his performance. Also looking outstanding here tonight was Joe Adams. He had 13 points. He stole the ball. He's the facilitator, dishing the ball off. You could say he is almost the Derrick Rose of this basketball team in terms of distributing the basketball. Also, Charles Johnson, number 33, had an outstanding game, rebounding the ball, being able to bring the ball up the floor, distribute the ball evenly, and do all the dirty work, grabbing the loose balls and providing for a tough interior defensive presence. The East Chicago Central Broken Wheels, they were exactly that. They were a broken team as the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers. They came out and they took their heart in the early going, and they were unable to respond. But it just shows you the level of competition that the Rolling Hoosiers bring to the table and how good they truly are. They have an inside game with Julian Aravello. They have an outside game with Charles Johnson. They also have an inside-outside game. Their facilitator is Joe Adams. This team is a very difficult team to beat. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do during the playoffs. This was all in honor of National Disability Awareness Month as we celebrate what is a fantastic and a great cause, and it was outstanding to see a team of this caliber in the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers display their talent here at the John A. Brado Center. On behalf of our entire staff, I'm Ray Flores saying so long from the John A. Brado Center as the Hammond Rolling Hoosiers defeat the East Chicago Central Broken Wheels by a score of 45-14. Our player of the game, Julian Aravello, with 24 big points in the win. So long, everybody, from the John A. Brado Center.